Good morning, everyone. Welcome to today's dive live stream. Today's dive will be open for the public for a dive day a few times a month. For all our members, we like to have a dive day, regardless of if you can afford or not. This gives you a chance to chat with the group, to chat with me live if you really needed to. We can unmute you, but you can also post your comments. If you're watching this via YouTube, you will not be able to see the comments from everyone because those comments are on the Zoom group chat, so that you only get that if you are live. But I wanted to tell everyone welcome, and we will today in today's dive we'll be covering some cryptos, but we'll also give you a full tutorial of generally one or two cryptos and a recreation of what's happening with these markets, so you can understand and break down some of this material and get a good feel about what's happening and my thoughts on those. So I'm going to open up the group chat right here, and I'm going to type good morning for everyone. There you go. Good morning, Jay Song. Thanks for taking the time today. Hola. Hey, Superfood. Always good to have you. Hey, Dean. Glad to see you. Good to see you, my friend. Yes, good day. I hope you guys get to all spend more time with me this way. But yeah, so we're here, and now we are beginning our recording. This class will be 1 hour and a half. So I'm going to try to remember to go slow and give you core principles and some of the secrets of the STORJ method. This isn't the full method. This isn't my full course, and this is not, you don't have homework and things like that. That's not the purpose of today. Is to grasp concepts and start to understand how price works, and from there you can get a feel for what things we are expecting and what targets and what money is available on the table for certain cryptos. So I'm also going to be open to some requests. We'll make a request pool for some of my regulars. If you want to hold back, you can, but you absolutely don't have to because you guys are paying members. But I will let this open for you guys can comment in the chat which cryptos you're most likely looking at. Because sometimes those cryptos may be ones that I overlook or I don't trade. I don't trade a lot of these cryptos. I trade some of them, but I understand that we get a lot of requests. I get a lot of requests because there are people who do trade a lot of these cryptos. Okay. XRPT is the first one I'm looking at for this morning, and I did get a request last night to cover STORJ, so I will cover STORJ today, and CHR one more time. Okay, CHR. Welcome Mark, welcome Speedy, welcome Daisy, welcome Maribel, Mark W. We got two Marks, and somebody named Mick. Okay, XRPT, just to cover, we have been bullish. And we actually turned bullish when we crossed over this wave here. So follow my mouse. It goes up, it goes down, and then we crossed over and had this nice arc on top of the cores. Now what I mean by the cores is a candle is made up of a few pieces. Okay, a candle starts at the bottom. If it's white, that means it ended higher than it started. If it's red, that means it ended lower than it started. That's what the candles mean. These little string at the end, this is what I call a wick. See this little string right there? That's called a wick. And there's a one at the bottom and one at the top. And all that means is during that piece of time, price went all the way here and came all the way down there, but ended where the body closes, which I call a core. Okay. In this next candle, that means the candle started down. It gapped down just a little bit. And these candles represent 1 week worth of time. We know this because it says at the top, oops, one moment. We know this because at the top it says 1W. That means 1 week. So when you see my charts and they say 1W, just remember that. Okay. So this candle started down here, right there. And during that time, we ended right here. However, the highest it went during that time was somewhere up here. And the lowest we went was somewhere down here. Okay, and the prices are at the side. So if you wanted to just know what that price is, you just move off to the side, and you can see, hey, price went to between 38 cents and 40 cents. So that was about 39 cents that price went to at that time. But this is just basically the basics of how you read a candle. Okay, so now going back to these candles, if you measure this core, the core levels, candles can be measured not just at the wicks for their patterns and for data, but also at the cores. And sometimes there's a mixture of core and wick, which there are exceptions to those rules. But if I was drawing these as waves, it would look something like this. Okay, I usually take, this is what I call your flows. You get your flows first to understand what's happening. You can get a thick highlighter, turn it blue. We do this in our dive class, and you just follow the line and just draw. Okay, then we went up and then came down, went up, came down, went up. So your eyes start to see price more simplistically than all the chaos that you start seeing. Then you just take a ruler and you can draw those tops, and it tells you something very interesting. And one of the things it's going to tell you is when price has a change of behavior. And this is really thick. If I were to draw a line connecting these tops of these waves here and the tops of the waves here, we see that price moved over approximately here. And so here's where I'm looking for a change of behavior. Now, why there? The reason is because that was the creation of the sword cut. Where price crosses through, that line creates a level, and that level is an indication of where we're anticipating some type of change in behavior. This is how we use to read what's actually happening on price. I call this the sword cut. And what we do is we just take a line and we draw it flat at 0 degrees and we draw it out. This is the foundation for the sword method. And this is the method that I invented. To my knowledge, I don't know anyone who trades it. I think there's one guy who has some kind of thing similar to this, but it didn't look like it works all the time. It didn't look like it was my lines all the time, but it was something similar to this. But this is what we use to gauge the pain. And the reason is because there was buyers here. There was also buyers way up here and buyers way up here. So these people start feeling the pain when price starts going down. So imagine you're buying at $1 and price goes all the way to 12 cents or 13 cents. You're flipping out. There's only so much pain you can take. So when price comes to these levels, you're just like, oh, I just want to break even. Let me just get my money back because I've been negative for so long. And that's what creates a pain. And where we locate that is where price cuts those trend lines. You just draw it flat. And that's just one of the simple rules of how to draw sword cuts. Here's another example live, okay? Same as we did before, but this time we went up, came down, and here was the core right there. So we draw a line right there and connect the dot. You draw a little, if you wanted to, you can just draw a little dot with white if you wanted, or a crayon, and just draw a little dot there and a little dot here, and you just draw it out. Okay, you can draw another white line if you wanted to. That's absolutely fine. We'll take our white crayon and we will just draw a line. And so here you can see what was happening next in the story, and we read the story like a book so you can understand where you're at and what things you might have missed, what things are still in play. Okay, put your ruler away and we can see that price went up, came down, went up, came down, and then we finally broke. So the breakout was in this area right here. However, was that the time to buy? Not necessarily. Generally, I like a good setup. And when I say a good setup, I mean that price goes up for a time and comes back and sits down on the sword cut so that we can move up. Now, why do we know it's right there? Again, look at where price crossed over. Where did this white line move through the candles? It moved the highest point approximately right here and the lowest point approximately right here. This is how we get a width, whether it's wide or low, for the sword cut. And so we were able to take a line, a straight line, and draw it orange, and we draw it straight across. And so now we know where to look for price to come back down. And sure enough, that's exactly what happens. Many times, we're looking for that change of behavior. We're not always guaranteed that, of course, but we use this as a huge clue. When you see price arc over and bounce on the line, sometimes very exactly, as you can see, I mean really, really close many times. We hard closed here, and then we were able to have a next candle going up. We did pierce through the STORJ line, but we went to some supports, and then we're able to move up. And so this is why approximately around here we would be anticipating some type of positive movement or breakout of some type. Okay? But this is just how the major principles of the sword cut work. Okay? Now there is something else we will be looking for. Because price moved up here and here, we can connect those tops as well, which we did, and we connect them at two different places. We can connect them again at the cores like we've been doing, those lines and those lines, and then oops, and then extend it out. We can also draw at the very tops of those mountain peaks here and here and draw it out. So how does that look in real life? It looks like this. Okay, you can take a trend line. Down here, you're going to come to your tools. And this is on TradingView. This app is 100% free for everyone. You can pay for it and get advanced. I pay for it, but I haven't linked my paid account to my free account because I draw on the free one with all my lines, and I don't want to lose my lines just in case we lose it in the account transfer. I spent a lot of time on these charts. This line should actually be just a little bit higher. Now, again, I'm drawing on the weekly chart. Okay. But draw these a little bit more accurate. There we go. So now you can connect a line from here to here and draw it out. And where price cuts through that candle, you're going to draw a flat line. This should be just a little bit higher. Draw a flat line and draw it out. Okay, and then you'll see price respond to these levels quite a bit. Quite a bit. Okay. Generally, the sword cut has power the length of time that it was created. So, for example, if you were to draw a box around the time right here, just draw like a box. Well, you can now take your cut and take a piece of time, a line right there, and just say we take this line and then we duplicate it out. Now what we do is we just move this, oops. Actually, that's a better example. Just take the box and duplicate it. There we go. This sword cut will be active most powerfully approximately the same length of time. So we would know by looking at our map that before September, we should have experienced some type of bounce. Otherwise, the sword cut's still there, but it gets a little bit weak and it's not as strong. But the sword is the strongest when it's within the same amount of time, and you can just use the lines to measure that. So here we had our move in September. Now, there's a few other things we can look at. When we came down from here, we were able to connect another new top, and then we can start seeing what price is doing and read the behavior from there. So we take the core area, and you're going to do that same principle again by drawing a line approximately around the core. Here, be as accurate as you can, and the highest core without crossing over any other lines. So you're looking for your cores and try not to cross over any cores. The reason I wouldn't draw it here is because if we drew like this one and I connected those lines with a ruler, then guess what? The ruler is actually going through these cores right here next to it in the same cluster, and that's not correct. You want to, if you're measuring the peaks of a cluster like a wave, you don't want to cross over any of the other cores. You want the highest core without going over. Okay, so in this case, from this peak to this peak, the highest core without going over is actually that one right there, not that one. Okay, you draw those two lines. Okay, so take those lines, you draw them out. They're going to give you that red line there that I drew already for you guys, just so you can see it. Let me make it red. Let's make it a little bit thick. and then you can see that price was responding pretty well. However, there was one major clue that you should be aware of, okay? And let's take a look at what that is. Because this is going to give you an indication of future price behavior. And in this example, we saw that even though our lines were accurate, price closed above that line. And the next candle gave you your verification that that line was still there. The next candle actually closed a little bit right on top of the line. So you see the core is right there. And that's where the core is at. You closed exactly on your line, but the candle before, you were right above the line. Why is that? Well, what that tells you is that line is weak and that line is ready to break. These are the secrets that price is telling you and is screaming to your faces, and you need to watch, because this is one of the things I teach in my course called the principle of the discount, which means that even though you'll have a reaction, it's actually a sign of strength in the future. Meaning, if price ever comes back to this line, then that line, I don't expect it to hold as well as it would when it was fresh. Okay, so you're going to see this principle a lot, and it tells you a huge amount of information about whether a price is strong or weak. You're being trained like a nurse to look at your crypto comes in like your patient, and it could look really good like it's going up or it's down, but you need to read the vitals. And once you start reading the vitals, you start saying, hey, everything here is not what it seemed, or hey, this is actually stronger, trying to pretend it's weak. It's not. It's actually strong. And you can also see if there's potential. You know, you can see where it's at in its lifespan, so to speak. So if you take this line and you click on the line, you look at the top here, there's going to be a little bar that shows up, and it's going to give you one that says settings. Go ahead and click on your settings. You can also change the color here by clicking on the color, but right now we're just going to click on settings, and you're going to click this button that says extend line right. Now what that does is it's going to shoot the line into the future right. On, off, on, off. And we could just leave it on. This is a quick way for you to draw what you need to draw and still get the accuracy as you're on, as you went. Now later on in the future, you can draw those lines and extend them out. If you ever draw the long wrong and not correct, but you had it correct, you can come down to the undo button, which is this little arrow here. Click that arrow and you'll go right to where you needed to. Alternately, if you draw the line wrong, you can click Control C if you're using like a computer or something. I mean, Control Z, which is your undo button. So now, why do I think we're at support? Well, if we were drawing cores at these levels on XRPT, this is not XRP, this is XRPT, we would be drawing them at the lowest core without crossing over others, which is this one. If you drew it here, you can actually and get pretty much the same results, but the angle is going to be about the same. Okay, so not that big a deal when the angle is pretty exact and you're similar. But you're basically drawing the lowest core without going over. Not this one, that would have crossed over. See, that would have crossed over. And not the one before, because in that same cluster, you would have crossed over. So you're not looking for that. You're looking for the lowest one in that cluster without going over, which was that one, okay? You connect those two lines and they're gonna give you another trend line. And be as accurate as you can. Follow along, and there you go. As Xrpt VOD would say, and there we go. Okay. So now we have two major lines that we're looking at to gauge price behavior. One held price down pretty well, but we still penetrated above and sat on top of that line, which is a sign of weakness in the future. It's like a roof, right? And you start hitting that roof. You start hitting that roof so much that you eventually break the roof, a hole in the roof. And if you have a bouncy ball and it's been bouncing on the floor and roof, on the floor and roof, and then finally you get up, there's a higher chance you're going to break through that roof. Okay. So now we can see the major story starting to unfold for XRPT. So not only did we have a breakout of the previous channel here, but this also formed its own channel, because now we're sitting here and there's a high chance that price here is going to reverse and hit these levels. But these levels are not levels at all. Level means flat. These are what I call dynamic. Price is moving and flowing. That's why I don't just trade on a price level. I can't just say, oh, sell at this price or sell at that price. No, I can tell you what angle to look at, and this is what I call a dynamic. So you'll see me sometimes put a price level and put D or DY for dynamic, but this is basically what we're looking at. If price were to fall today or rise today on XRPT, as we're coming to the end of this segment, if we were coming today, it would be approximately, if it did it today, would be way up here, and that would be approximately $1, and I want to say about like between 110 and 120. This is about 117, 1.17. However, if it took up until December, the end of December, okay, on this weekly chart, which is be about right here, that would give you about $1.10. So you kind of know. And then if it took all the way until the end of time, because price needs to make a decision sometime, because you see these lines are coming this way and this is coming this way, price needs to either break above, below and come down, or it needs to break above and come up. But it has to make some kind of decision before, and you can just turn your ruler sideways if you wanted to, or just draw a line straight down, or look approximately what the level is. And this is sometime before between March and April. You can see that right there. See, March, April, it's approximately there. Does that make sense to you guys now? So I want to say before March 15th, it has to make some kind of decision, up or down. If it phases through, then what happens is generally you're going to have a price start bouncing wider and wider and wider like that. And that is something, it's rare, but it happens. This is price behavior. Okay, but now how far are we going? Is there money on the table? And there absolutely is money on the table, and we'll show you where it is. How do we know which direction we're going to break up or break down? Well, you can, it's kind of easy. You take the same principles we learned in the STORJ method and you just zoom down. Okay, same type of principles. I'll try to keep some of these principles basic, but we're looking even closer, and what we're doing is called reading the consolidation. To somebody on a monthly chart or a higher level chart, it may look like we're going sideways. Sometimes you've seen price and it looks like it's just going sideways. And the truth to read which direction it's going is first know what the map is saying on the overall story. And second, zoom down low enough to see what's actually happening. That's what I call reading the consolidation. In this case, we're going to move to a daily chart and see if we can read the consolidation between those 2 points we have. But before we do that, I want to give you guys your potential so you can see more or less the price targets we're looking at. Okay. Now, to do that, it's quite simple. What you're looking for is you're looking for the price that the leg that happened with the previous leg when there was a change of behavior. So the first start of this lesson, I showed you guys that price had that big breakout here and then came down and sat on the sword cut. Okay, we had it sit on the sword cut, which is this orange line. Okay, so what we're going to do is we're going to take the projection. We're going to get a projection of the highest that price moved, and the highest that price moved during this time was here, and I'm going to show you with the highlighter, the top of here down to the bottom. That is called unconservative. If you were being conservative, you were just measuring the bodies, the highest of the bodies of the candle, which is small. And you can still do that, and I use that with some success. So you would take that measurement, let me erase these blue lines. You would take that measurement, and you can either duplicate it and put it on top of where that sword cut is, and that's going to give you the first projected target, and sometimes that's just where profit taking is. And you're going to measure from the sword cut or the lowest that price hit before launching up, which is, this is the sword cut, so normally we put it on top of the line. But the other thing you can do is you can put it at the very bottom of the wick, because price pierced through that. So that means that took some of the money off the table. meaning that money's not available. So we'll just put that line approximately there, and it also gives you approximate time on when price should hit. So we knew that price should approximately go to, if we bounced up from the sword cut area, we knew that price should go up to $1 and approximately a little bit $1.40, a little bit below that, $1.38. And we knew that we should hit there as well before September and November, which is going to be October. Sometime before October, we should hit that. And that's exactly what happened. But was there more money on the table? Yes, there was, because that was your conservative. There was also this potential. And this was also the money that's on the table from the wick. Now, we're not always guaranteed to hit the wicks, because sometimes it could be a lot of just, manipulation, fast spikes. But sometimes there are real buyers and sellers in there, and we often see that. So if you were to take that measurement and do the same darn thing, take your lasso tool, you can duplicate it, and if you don't know how to duplicate it, you can also just move it. And now put it at the lowest point of the projection as well. And as long as price doesn't come below 54 cents, then this projection will be valid. And that means that there is money on the table longer term, up to $2. And I want to say that's about 70 cents. Let's just say 60, 68, just to be real safe. Okay, that there's still projection on there. Now, because of the core principle, there should be some profit taking, and we'll need another setup to go up the rest of the way. But once we go up the rest of the way, we should have this money on the table before another round of people taking profit. Because almost for every buyer, there should be a seller. That's not always the case, but generally there's some kind of flow of buyers and sellers, people entering and exit. And there's an emotional roller coaster that people feel when entering markets. And those emotional roller coasters are what move markets. All markets are run on greed and fear. Fear of loss and fear of missed opportunity. Greed, buying more than they should, or staying in trades longer than they should. All of these things cause people to start feeling these great pulls and tugs of emotions and entering and exit. And even these advanced computer algorithms that the big syndicate trading companies use, and the big hedge funds and all these people who do trading, they pour billions into these markets. They also have advanced AI that run off the same programs, because they know more or less when people are feeling in trading. And so those emotions can be read. And even though the markets are not predictable, human emotion is surprisingly predictable. And this is why trend lines work in the first place. Okay, so anyway, up to $2.67 is on the table. I will conclude this section of this. I won't get any more, but I will say we do need some last behavior. We need to connect these tops here and here, especially because we went down. So for us to have a better confirmation that we are going up, we need a breakout now above this line. And this was the one we drew as white earlier. And why do I think we're going to get it? Well, again, I think we're going to get it because we already pierced the line here. Remember that? This was not an accident, and it wasn't an accident we sat down on top of that same line. It just wasn't enough momentum to move up at the time. So now the lower price becomes the discount. So provided we bounce up from here, there could be some good news. Now, why would I not just buy right now? Well, the reason is because of look. We went down in this last week, but why? What was this down move? This was the Bitcoin crash, and I do expect Bitcoin to have another crash, and we'll cover that in just a moment. Okay, so we need a breakout above these lines, and it would look something like this. I would like a breakout and to come back down and kiss the price before we come up, somewhere in this area. But once we have a good bounce, especially if we have a nice arc, if we get this nice like rounding off shape, let us touch back here and you're ready to go. Okay, just a simple pullback. People will think it's going to be just in range, but you already had a change of behavior. You're ready to go up. Okay, and there might be more money on the table. We may be able to measure this one and have the change of behavior, but just by the sword cut alone, this money, $2.68, is still on the table, and current price is 83 cents. That's about double your money if we had a breakout from here. But I would be waiting for that breakout to have your confirmation. Everything you see in today's video is just for entertainment, comedic, and educational purposes only. This is not financial, investment, or trading advice of any kind. This is all just my own opinions and just drawings. Okay, guys? So don't take this serious, but read between the lines per my YouTube disclosure. Okay, I've been doing this since for about 19 years, drawing on price, understanding that sword cuts are really the key to the cohesive atmosphere of a trend, a proper trend analysis, which I call the sword method. Before we end that section, I do want to go over to the daily chart and see what's going on the daily. So on the daily chart, you still have your same lines. We see price came all the way down. I mean, look how far we gapped down, but look at, we went all the way right back up in the Bitcoin area. And then we are setting down. Now, why did we do that? Why did we come back up? Well, because there was still strength. There was still strength in the beginning anyway. Why did price go down? Because of manipulation with Tether and Bitcoin. So now, with that said, let's take a look. But let's grab a drink of coffee. My looks like my cappuccino's ready. Uh-oh. It was ready. And it looks like it almost poured nothing. So it's not good. It's just like, it looks like only cream. Now, there are some, if you were drawing that line, you can also draw an intermediary line. And it's going to be here, and I'll show you where it is. Okay, if you take these cores on a daily chart from November 9th, the top, okay, of November 9th, and you take it to the highest point without crossing over, it's this one right there. So try not to cross over that one, draw it out, and there you go. And that gives you a very steep curve. So on the daily chart, there could be an easy move up to here, but we're still not guaranteed that that's where there's going to be a breakout, because that's where we need the breakout, that red line here. But this red line is the more closer format. We need a break above here and going up. So that gives you money on the table of approximately, just give you an average, $1 and I want to say about $1.08 if it happens sometime before the end of the year. And if we get the breakout from here, we would need a move above here, possibly coming back to this line one more time, but even just a simple breakout would be good. Okay, and this would be a change of behavior. Either this line is going to be strong enough to push price down from here, or we're going to break above. But be waiting for your confirmations because of Bitcoin. I heard something go on, so maybe my coffee's ready. Well, not exactly ready, but it's good enough. Good enough to drink. All right, let's get back to it. In the next segment, we are going to be covering some projections on what I think is going to be happening to XRP and Bitcoin. Okay, guys. Now take a look. I have some pictures here of XRP and Bitcoin, and why I think XRP has a high chance of hitting 48 cents. Okay, after this 2 segments, I'll open up for some questions if you guys had, or also some requests if you guys want me to build some charts live that we've never touched before if you wanted to. right from the beginning as well. But I want to take this time to show a little bit what we talked last night in Dive, and that is what I expect happening on USDT.D. Okay, so I'm gonna move my chart and I'm gonna change the chart to USDT.D. And again, the reason I always use USDT.D is because I believe it is the chart that measures Tether the best. And Tether is the master manipulator for Bitcoin. So much of the the money is really unaccounted for, and one day, and it really is a big Ponzi scheme. It really is a big fraud. But until then, at least, hey, we can read manipulation. We have a way to measure that manipulation. Okay, so what are my predictions? My predictions, in keeping with my previous predictions, is that this was the channel here to here, and we had a breakout here. And once we had that breakout, we were free to go up. And you guys saw this chart plenty of times on my website. You guys saw me showing this. However, we had these trend lines here, and I've done a great deal. And we just phased through, sitting on these lines, and passed through this segment. Now, this is a weekly chart, so each one of these is 1 week, and you guys seen this multiple times. But look at this. Okay. We were waiting for a breakout above here, but we also had supports at these areas. See these little lines here? The green line right there. So when price broke above here in this area, it's only a matter of time before we come up and hit this, especially when we came already close, but we didn't hit the target. There was still money on the table. This was the shortcut that was created months ago. And I gave you guys all of these lines and supports months ago. But this is the map. And I'm letting you guys know something that really interesting happened during the crash. The crash was when this chart goes up. Because when this chart goes up, your cryptos come down. I'll say it again. When this chart goes up, your cryptos come down. When this chart comes down, your cryptos have a chance to have a good bull run. That's some good coffee. As price breaks above this shortcut, it is not a coincidence. We should have stopped right on this line because there was, or close or in the line. But for price to actually pierce through, we came all the way up to one of my previous estimated ranges here, and price closed above this line and this line. That means there's a change of behavior. What do we expect when that happens? We expect price to come back down naturally to the shortcut. So how does that look in real life, not just on a weekly chart? I'm glad you asked. I'm glad you asked. Tell her what she's won, Johnny. Well, she's won a trip to technical analysis land. Now, here's it up close. Here's a daily chart. This is the day that had the first flash crash. And this is why I'm going to believe there's another flash crash coming. Flash crash coming. Feel like I'm reading Fox and Socks. Morning, Jamal. Price went up all the way here, came all the way back down, but we're above shortcut, and the next level was above that line. Exactly. Do you see how we went to that line? Exactly. And then here we came back on, sat down on top of shortcut, came to the lower parts of the shortcut, boom, boom, and then broke above this line again because this line is ready to break. Okay. Once you see these lines start breaking, and price comes down, that's the discount. That's the time to buy, or if you do buy and we go up, it's the cheap prices, I should say. It's the cheap prices. Okay, so price is ready to break that red line. It's not scared of it anymore. And price was also not scared of, this is the same how it would look in the previous example of XRPT. Okay, but now we're ready to go up because we came back down naturally. We're ready to move up. Volume on this chart is difficult to read for this one because it's a little bit like an index. But we moved up, and I believe we are now moving up to the next sword cuts or resistance areas, either 42.2958, which is the angle, or the sword cut right here, which is at 501%. I believe we're getting up to here. Now, how far is that? That's about halfway from where we went last time. So if we were to measure how far that crash was, we went this far. Here and here. We went about that far, okay? If we were to take that and duplicate it again, and how far we have to go, just say we went all the way up here, we are about halfway there. So price needs to move almost the same amount that it did before. It needs to move that again, at least. Okay, I think. Okay, this is why I think we're gonna have another move about the same distance. Because if price does this again, this is where we're going. It should look more like this, I should say. And I usually do these. When you see me draw these boxes and you see me draw them in white, that means that that's what I expect is a target. Okay, so I believe that we're going to have another duplicate move of what we have, because that's what's on the table and that's what the data supports. We're on top of the sword cut, so we have now a change of behavior. We're free to go up. I gave this a few days ago on YouTube, but I didn't give these type of projections, but I did say, hey, this isn't over. Okay, now I'm giving you guys the projections, and we're going to show you, because we're looking for a duplicate move from here to here on Bitcoin, I mean USDT.D, we're going to be looking for the same duplicate move on XRP and Bitcoin and other cryptos. So this gives you a big secret about when we should be looking to buy. So with that said, let's continue. Let's look at those photos now. Now, this is the same image, but with triangles. A move up to here, we came down to here. Now we should, if we were to launch from right now and hit these targets, that's about halfway up. So now I'm expecting that a run from the same, about the same amount of the crash last time. Just take that same measurement and do the same darn thing wherever we're at in price. And that's going to give you approximately where we're looking at. So let's look at the next photos. Here's XRP. XRP came from here all the way down to here, and this is approximately, the level, okay? If price were to fall and come down, you can take that same measurement of how far price fell and duplicate it out, and that gives us approximately 48 cents if it were to fall from those days. And did we come down from those days? Let's take a look. XRP USD Bitfinex. Where are we at with XRP this morning? We are going to be USD Bitfinex. Oop, not that one. This one. All right, there we go. Yes, we have been falling since this area, and I believe we're going to be coming down to around 48 cents. Now this is great. This is great prices to buy XRP. XRP is still not bullish, because if you take those cores, how I showed you to draw cores, should be just about right there, core, and bleed it to the highest core, which is approximately here. You can draw that out. However, you can also take some of these wicks and draw them out as well by taking the very top wick and drawing it out to the top wick of the highest swing. And it's here, this wick right here. Swing, swing, and then after that, whatever happens after that happens. This one we pierced through, but it's still holding. We need closes above these lines. We need price to do this before XRP can resume any bullishness. We need moves above like this. We're not guaranteed to get that right now. We can be still coming down from here on our way. and up to probably 48 cents. Current price for XRP is 0.83 cents. Okay. Let's look at Bitcoin, and you guys, and then after that we'll open it up for some questions and look at storage possibly. Here's the next one for Bitcoin. Bitcoin had the move down all the way to here. You measure that from its previous, and that gives us Bitcoin off the chart of this one, but I already think we're going to 35,000, 33, 35,000. The reason I'm expecting us to get into these areas is because I already performed star analysis on this chart. Star analysis, this is on Coinbase, and I'll show you where it's at. One moment, BTC, USD, and I did this one on Coinbase. There we go. A star analysis is an advanced map from which I use the past and I use every single angle that was created in a reverberating way into the future. I don't always overlay those with these charts, but I do sometimes with some of the more important ones, and I don't always perform star analysis, but it's just an advanced way of reading charts using the sword method, but in a more advanced way. And it looks confusing to the normal people, but what I wanted to say is there's this angle here, and this is one of my star levels. If price fell today, it would be 33,000. If it does it before the end of the year, we can be looking up to 35,000. So it's dynamic. It's not a level. I can't just say, oh, we're coming to 33,000. No, it's dynamic. It's approximately this angle. Okay. If you want a screenshot of this, you can, but I don't really have a reference point for you right now. But I will be continuing posting this. But just so you know, it's around 33 to 35,000. I'm expecting us to go down there, and that kind of matches the projections if we have another dive. Okay, I don't think we're going to round off on the shortcut. We may, but we may actually just come down and come here for a little bit of time. So that's not so good for crypto market. That's like a second flash crash, and all because we're on top of the shortcut on USDT.D. That's why I don't think we're out of the clear just yet. And that also is in alignment with Prophet Robin's data shows. But here's a picture of the star. I'm going to show you the picture of a star analysis. Oh, I thought I had one. I know I performed a few of them the other day. I just wanted to give you an example of how they look. Here's one. Okay, here is a star analysis of gold, and I performed the gold. And basically, it's a different type of map. It's not the sword method. It's a different type of map. I spent years learning, this, and I saw it working sometimes, and it didn't work other times, and I didn't know the secrets back then on how to create it. Now I can create them at will. They are a little bit involved, but basically every one of the lines needs to have a reverberating effect. So right now on gold, each one of these lines in the past, this one, this one, this one, this one, this one, this one, that one, that one, they all have a reverberating effect, and we should see them in the future, like up here, 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 this one here. There's one that needs to be hit way down here. If it doesn't get hit, then it changes angle and it becomes a flat. But it's just a little bit advanced, and I won't show you. But from what I'm seeing on Bitcoin, we're close to one of the star levels. So I believe, because of my analysis, I believe we're gonna hit these levels. Star levels almost always get hit, especially if we're really close. I rarely see any kind of exceptions to the rule. Okay, It's just price finding an ultra balance. All right. I don't see many comments. I see you guys. Everybody's saying morning, but nobody's having like questions or something. Hey, Francisco, good to see you. Always good to see you. Hey, Full Lake. Hey, Jeff. Welcome. LH. LH lives in LA. The ever beautiful Melody Song. Solomon, Quash, Yuri. Good to see you, Yuri. Reza. Sorry about the issues. I think the Yuri that's. I think you have it in Australian dollars or AU or whatever that is. Style analysis is the secret sauce. It absolutely is the secret sauce. And some of you are going to learn it. Some of you guys are going to learn it after we launch the course. And you guys feel ready, you can take it. It's not like a graduation, but the homework is going to be ensured. And I'm going to work with you guys with your homeworks. You're going to be sending me your packets. I'm going to send you and you're going to draw. And I'm going to give you certain drawings to draw. And I'm going to say, draw these. And I'm going to make sure you're getting them correctly and you're grasping concepts. And that's what the dives are about. The dives are me giving a little bit here and there. They're like the course without the modules, but they're like some of the course, but without any of the homeworks and without me working with them. But it's still, you seen me work over over your shoulders, sitting down with me to make sure we're reading price. You're understanding that how price needs to be read technically and what things we're looking for, what major events we're looking for, and just coming back to the charts over and then we can build charts live. And seeing it in action starts you helping you understand the concepts of what we're looking for. Storage has been acting very accurately to its previous run. Here, these major waves here, price crossed over and we sat down through there. However, there was some penetration that was through. So these lines weren't the full story, but there is some that was there. There is others. See how price reacts to this week's. Well, let's draw one more, doing the same thing we taught you today's class, which is drawing at the core levels. When there's too many noise going on, zoom out to a weekly chart. And that's going to give you a lot more closer and more accurate analysis. In this example, we're going to take the core, which is here, and we're going to take the core and we're going to draw it out. And this is on STORJ, STORJ. We're just going to take one trend line, just one. We're not drawing channels right now. We're just drawing the trend lines. There's a lot more advanced stuff, but okay. Once we draw that, let's give it a color. Let's just make it yellow and really thick so everyone can see it. Okay, so this big thick yellow line, keep your eyes on that line. And now you can see, going back to the daily chart, zooming in, you can see now more why price came to these areas. So even though we sat down on this dashed red line, it's a little, let me fade this away real quick. Even though price came to the red line and was sitting on here, we still went down to the core and came right back up into range. Okay, and on top of that, there was this great orange block here, which was the sword cut that we have created. So we are expecting a bounce in this area, and when you get both, that means price is ready to move up. So you get supports, and a sword cut. That's one of the best things you can get. Now we're back to the sword cut again, and came down exactly to some of those previous supports here again. And but this time when we came, we didn't bounce that far up. In fact, we didn't hit the roof. What does that tell you? Is this a roof that we should be drawing? Yes, it is. Because take a look. Draw the wick and connect it to the other wick. Be as accurate as you can. From here to here, this is what I call your foundation. I'm going to draw this as a dashed line. It should not be dotted. It should be dashed because we're drawing wicks. Here, and draw that angle out. After price falls down, we should be looking for price to hit that line. And generally, if you drew your lines accurately, price should be hitting accurately. For it not to hit that accurately, that tells me something very important. It tells me that this sword cut was not so strong as a bounce. If the sword cut was like a batter, and the batter is price is coming down to it, it's ready to hit it, and it barely hit it up before coming back down again, something may not be right. That means that the sword cut could be losing its strength. And why would it lose its strength? Well, because we already had it used up, meaning it's exhausted. It already shot price up high, and now it may just not have enough strength to hit price out of the park one more time. Price may not be ready to move up, and this sword cut may not be strong enough to hold its own. Last time, we also penetrated through the sword cut a few times. So the sword cut won because you got these trend lines as your supports, and the sword cut been like, yeah, I got this, but really it's older brother in the back hitting it. This sword cut might be weak. When I see this, I take the line and I come to my color and I fade out the colors, because to me, that's losing its strength. So we're gonna have that, which means that we may be expecting lower prices on STORJ on the daily chart. Either way, I'm not buying STORJ yet until we have a change of behavior. Where do we need the change of behavior? At this line. Then we can come up and hit the new sword cut that was created at $2.86. Current price for STORJ is $1.61. I want to change a behavior up to here before I'm even thinking about buying STORJ. But STORJ may still do good longer term, but shorter term, this is not that strong. Okay, we actually may come all the way down to this bigger sword cut way down here at $1 and I want to say about 17 cents. Okay, there's a high chance. And why would we even say that's we can come all the way down there? Well, the reason this is more likely is because look what happened on Bitcoin day. Remember when Bitcoin crashed and USDT went up? We went this far. Let's measure it. How far is that? It's about that long. Take your trend line. You can duplicate it out like I taught you. Bring it out. If we fell from today, oops. If we fell from today, where does that put us? It puts us approximately in the sword cut range, a little bit around 117. So is that so far-fetched? No, it is not. It's ready. Okay, so that's for STORJ, and I'll write that down that we talked about STORJ, XRP, BTC, USDT. All right, so now, hello, Jason. Somebody says, Dean, I agree. That's good. You got your camera back on. Yeah, I know, right? Always amazing once you perform your art skills. Thank you, Dean. I appreciate it. No problems, man. Star Mouse says, hi, Jay. Jeff. Okay. Hello, Jason. We have 2 Yuri in the class. Yes, I know. I'm talking to the Yuri from, I think, Australia. AU. Is AU Australian? And the other Yuri, welcome, welcome. I know I asked you yesterday for STORJ. Can you do XLM? Yeah, we can go over XLM. Dean, BTT BitTorrent chart, if you can. All right, so let's write down these. XLM, BTT, how about ETN? And yes, from Australia. Okay. Sorry, Mike. I'm sorry about all what's going on down there. You like my accent? But, God, it's terrible. It's terrible. I say, rise up. Put on that armor. Time to go to war. Get your own government. Empire. RDD. I think we did RDD just the other day, but we can look at XLM. I'm going to try and go through some of these a little bit quicker. For this last segment, I won't be teaching a lot. I will just be going over some major strengths and what I'm looking for. XLM also almost identical to XRP. XLM not healthy at the moment. Shorter term. This is the main channel. Okay, I'm going to show you guys. This is your main channel with verification. Okay, we got multiple verifications. This is the correct channel. And what happened? You're underneath that channel. We had resistances here with a new sword cut. I've already explained this one in a previous class, but this was your cut. Price came down, came up to the cut, came down, hit the channel, went up, hit the sword cut. This time we broke the channel. A new sword cut is created approximately here. I'm gonna move this and show it to you where it's at. This is not the tutorial, but I'm just letting you guys know there's another resistance now. Here, it should act like a resistance at least. We are on top of this channel, but this also is exhausting. So this may slow down the descent from a super rapid descent, but still not very bullish. I mean, not very bullish. Okay, there is hope. There is hope. There are infinity flats here that are virgin, and here. And I'm going to give you those lines. One's at 0.21 cents. The other is at 0.20 cents. So 21 and 20 cents approximately. Okay, 2013 and 2113. Draw those there. They may act like supporting nets. We are on the positive side of price. Price did fall very far during the last crash, just like a few of them. Okay, so we're looking for a duplicate of that. How far is that? Approximately here, a little bit farther. But if you're looking for another duplicate of that from today, it's possible for price to move all the way down to 17 cents possibly, or approximately around that range. This is not so good. Okay, but don't be surprised if you see price hitting 17 cents on XLM. Got it? I'll let you take a screenshot, and I'll take a shot of my espresso. That's pretty good. Jason, what determines the thickness of the sword line cut, says Daisy. I'll cover that, Daisy. We did just a little while ago, but I'll go over one more time slower. Hey, Jason, please take a look at SHIB at low price. Great, nice short. SHIB, yeah. Okay, and that will be the last request because I won't have any more time. But yes, let's take a look. In my laptop, just so you know, it says 9:14 a.m. That is not correct. That is not correct. I have a glitch, or I don't know why, but every time I plug in my iPad, it locks into 9:14. So it always says 9:14 when I plug my iPad into Ecamm Live software. I need to look at, so that was XLM. There's something called BTT. I'm gonna have to save that just a little bit to the end because I haven't done a BTT yet. Let's look at ETH, which is Ether. BTT would be a new chart that we'll need to create it, and we can. But let's go over some of these. Ether's healthy. Ether's healthy. During the Bitcoin shakeout, we were barely affected at all. But this is a weekly chart. Okay. On the weekly chart, drawing wick to wick gives you this. We have a nice round arc as we came on top. So this is the change in behavior. This also gives us projections. Using the highs of the first legs, which is here, drawing out. If we get the move, it would be here. Let's see if we can get it for you. I'm going to draw, first I'm going to draw conservatively, approximately. And then we're going to draw unconservatively on that same chart. And see if I can take these levels. Okay, let's take this out. And we're going to duplicate it. We're going to move it to the lowest point of that behavior because that does remove some money off the table. It's here, so this should be just a little bit higher. Oops, one moment. All right, there we go. So current money on the table, oops, where's my conservative one? Gosh darn it. Oh yeah, there it is. I can see it. I can still see it. It's there. I'm going to show you where. Okay, conservatively, we have that one, and unconservatively we have approximately that one. What is that? This looks like approximately 8050 and a high for Ether of around, what is this, 880, so I want to say like 890, 800, 8,900. Okay. Current price for Ether 4,520. That's approximately double your money. If we get that, okay. For zooming down for Ether, we would need a breakout, but we're almost there. You go to the daily chart, and there's quite a little bit to happen. We did get a shortcut here in these areas. We did get some resistance, some cuts. This is staggered, so it's not surprising that we're having this formation. We do need confirmations. Core, draw that out. That's one you need. And then you need another one, shorter term, here, wick. Okay. We need breakouts. The first breakouts could lead you to this area, which is those angles. It's approximately around 4,362 at the highest right now, 4,511. You need that. And then the next one, the highest right now, 4,362. Now that gets much easier to beat. It gets much easier to beat as time goes on. If we do it before the end of the year, it's 39,000. So that's not that hard to beat. Okay, but you need that. It would look something like that. Then we need to change. So you need two changes of behavior here, but you can also resist, and we need to see it because you can also reject off of that line. But if we get a break above, then we're free to go. We're free to go. But you need closes. You need the bodies of these candles to close above these levels. You understand that? You need the bodies of the candles to close above these levels, and generally, organically, we should come back down. Sometime touching and verifying that these lines are there, because when they acknowledge them, that's really good. That's really healthy. Okay, but right now we don't have that. We're still just in huge consolidation, and this is on the daily chart. But draw that line, and then when those times come, watch for that behavior. You have plenty of time. You have plenty of time. Okay, this was the Bitcoin down area, but we came right back into play because it's strong. Okay. So that's Ether, ETH. Want to look at Empire. Let's look on, I'm gonna need to pull up Empire and take a picture of it. We did a full analysis of Empire the other day, and now we are not responding well yet, but let's see if we can find some more data. Okay. So, oops, hold on. Come on. Rough. All right, I'm gonna use this picture, and we'll go for it. All right, so previously on Empire, here's where we were at. Nope, not that one. Nope, that's Safe Moon. Here we go. This is where we were at on Empire. We have this parabolic flow of price, and then we went all the way up, and we've been sitting on that line. What we need to happen is a breakout from here to here on wicks, the widest point of the foundation. We would need a breakout at that level. If you get a breakout and then price starts to arc up, that means we won. and then you're free to go up to your next projection, which is massive. There's massive potential up here. Possibly even up to non-conservative, which is this week all the way to here. I mean, that's massive. That's your change of behavior, and that's makes us free to go up. The truth is that, let me draw it for you. Okay, edit, markup. This is on a 4-hour chart, I believe this was, or this is on the daily chart. But the truth is that even with this, will this hold? And is there more support? So basically we need to break above there. And is there any potential for something else? Yes. But we need to draw that, okay? So the first thing we're gonna do is we're gonna draw some infinity flats using the wicks. And what I mean by that is that there are trend lines on the underside of these, which I call fire lines. When you see price going in the direction, there's trend lines that go in those directions. And those lines also need a resolve. They also need to be exhausted. And sometimes those lines just go out into infinity, all the way to 0. And when that happens, how do you have a resolve? It's easy. Those lines that go into infinities become flat. So these lines will become supports at certain points, and they'll become supports at here and here. Okay, so there is supports here that would still be in alignment with changes of behavior. Now, the reason we know there's changes of behavior, because it's still on the table. But let's take a look, and we're going to be recreating this net on the real price of Shiba, of Empire today. So let's go to it. But just so you know what I'm looking for. Okay, here we go. Edit. I'm going to try and do this real quick because we're out of time. I'm trying to, we did the tutorial for today, so there is more to come. So this is the first, and we're looking for price to have reacted to these points. So we're at 1 right now. Will this hold? We can never guarantee. Is it good setup? Absolutely. Absolutely. A parabolic is not holding. So this could get price stuck in this area a little bit. It's possible. But before we come to those conclusions, could be price just setting itself up for a better support. But let's draw, instead of a parabolic, let's now draw the actual meat, which is the reactionary points. So core, we're going to draw core and cores, and we're going to see if price is responding to those well. Okay, so I'm taking these cores accurately, and then we draw and we wait to see if price has the reaction. Here, that's good. Okay. The next points were from where we left off in the story is that one. Okay, so we're going to draw these cores out to the next major swings from when price had its change of behavior, which is here. I'm going to connect those dots. Draw it out. Okay, you get this angle. And also, that was the last of the angles to hit. Nope, there's more. Sorry about that. All right, those are the 3 angles that are the main ones to hit price. And I don't see price reacting at all to the last ones we drew. And so when I see this, I'm actually going to use the real meat, which is my channels, okay, which gives me phantom, mid phantom, and we're going to draw this, and I'm going to draw this like yellow. Now, what I'm going to do is I'm going to take the lines of the widest of these swings, which is here, okay, right there, and then right there. We're going to take that very, very accurately at the cores, and I'm going to make the channel, and I'm going to create the levels that we needed. So this is the first line, and I'm not going to move the ruler. We're going to move the ruler down, but I'm not changing the angle. This is important. And from here, I'm actually going to draw the lowest core that we can, which is without crossing over the other cores. Again, this is not a tutorial, but it's that one right there. See? And we did have some verifications in the past. You should have hindsight verifications. And there's another level that is there, and I'm going to use the thinnest crayon I got, and that's the mid. So what did I draw? Well, I drew the angle, which is the top one. I drew, and that one gave me the phantom angle, which is this one here. That's the phantom. However, there's one more, which I call mid phantom, and that's the level right in the middle between the two. That one should also have verification. Okay. Now, there is the point from which price last left mid phantom, and the price when the angle crosses over, and sometimes where phantom crosses over, and those create three sword cuts. Those cuts are where price crossed over here, and this is to answer the person's question, is how wide is the sword cut? The sword cut is as wide as when price crosses through, the line crosses through, and when the line exits. That's where to draw the sword cut, and that's how long. And that's also going to give you a big clue about the behavior of price. So we're going to turn this sideways to flat, and we're going to put those where the cut is at. So the top of the line is here now. And you can use, when I'm drawing demonstrations for the sword cut with just pen and paper like this, I'm drawing it like that. Okay? So that's that one. And then where it left is approximately where it left the candle is there. And that gives you the clue about what the heck is happening with price. Okay, so let's delete this red lines, and you can see now more what's happening. Hold on, let me blow my nose, guys. Okay, so there's one more, and it is this level here, which I believe we already got. Okay, this one did not cross price any longer, so it doesn't create a sword cut below it, but the last place it left, oh, actually there was, mid phantom crossed approximately about here, and let me just show you real quick. I said I'm not going to give you guys a tutorial, and yet I am. All right, so you can see price reacting to this area really well. Could not break above, could not break above. You had the breakout here, and then we continued to sit on top of that line for just a few days. Approximately, okay. And then we came down, and where did we come down? To this sword cut, but now we passed through, and this can create a stronger evaluation. So a stronger roof. So what that means for Empire is because Empire did not bounce where it should have on top of these areas, that's actually now bearish, and you have time to respond as such. That is bearish. The next times what there's a support is right here at 0.2 cents. Okay, that's 0.2 cents. So this is something I'm going to be watching for, but we do not have bullish behavior at the moment when we should have. We should have had some bounces here, which we did, but we did not go up. Then the second level we should have had it was approximately here, and we didn't get it. And now all there is supports to hold up price, and price needs a better structure. This angle that we created from the other chart is still valid. We need a breakout from there to get your full verification. So we need that to have a change of behavior. But at the moment, the window is gone. Okay, right now that window is gone. It's still possible price can come down to here, at 0.02 cents. Okay, 0.2. But we may not get it. Okay, you can take a screenshot of that. That was Empire, and the last two are RDD and Shiba. I thought I just did ETN. Yeah, Shiba ETN. Yeah, we're going to be doing RDD Shiba, and yeah, we can review ETN. But I did, somebody did request BTT and I didn't build a chart, so I might build it. J-Song, based on the STAR method and USDT.D, do you think the crypto market is going down? Yes, I do. Do you think STORJ is going down to the area below 120? Below 120? Yes. I think we're going to approximately 117. 117 all the way to $1 is where about $1.05 or so. Maybe $1 and somewhere between $1 and 110. Right there, thanks to $1.02, something like that. Anywhere between $1.02 and 117. It's a pretty wide gap. That's a thick sword cut. So the sword cuts again are created where the line crosses through the candle, draw that first, and where the line exits the candle. Jason, when you sell your coins, what do you sell into? I generally sell into USDT.D or I'll sell into XRP just, you know, for a longer term if I'm not doing, but usually my trading bag, I've been doing USDT.D, but remember, anytime after December, USDT becomes dangerous, very dangerous. And it's better to just get into something more of a stable like USDC. The problem with USDC, US dollar coins, is that it also it makes it harder to buy something in USDC when it's time to buy. I'll say that, because if you're putting entry and limit orders, it flips the price upside down, so it kind of throws my conversion off. I'm like, what's the price in USDC? So you actually have to go to your chart settings and click on invert. But some of the charts you get for them are not as easily available. But US dollar coin, USDC. Okay. It's going to be a better option. And sometimes I confuse that with XDC. It's not the same. And I do apologize if I told you guys that. It's actually US dollar coin, USDC. Let us go over real quick. Next, you wanted to do, was this Empire? No, we did Empire. I need to go over RDD. Empire. Okay, hold on. Okay, now we're gonna go over RDD. Remind me, guys, I can't be giving a tutorial right now because we already gave the tutorial, so one tutorial, only one. If you guys like more of this content, join me for dives. You got a whole month of dives. Spend time with me, and we'll go over all this stuff that you guys want on a weekly basis as often as you want. RDD, I don't bother looking on the daily chart because the candles don't make sense. They barely make sense on the weekly chart, but you go where there's a trade. RDD, let me update the date real quick. DEC 11. Okay, RDD on the weekly chart, we are still bullish. We still have some foundations, and we are still on the positive side of this parabolic line. It did create a sword cut at this area, which we upgraded to green, and we had reactions. We had reactions up to mid phantom, which is this channel here, connecting here, and this peak gives you this middle level, and price went exactly there, exactly. See, right to this level, exactly. And then we came down, sat down on the cores, which are from here, and sat down on the cores, but the cores were already penetrated, so the cores are ready to be broken. And on the day that we had the manipulation, we went really far down. We have yet to go up, and we have 1 day and 10 hours left. So for RDD, we need to come up a little bit more to this line. If not, we're going to be stuck down here for a little bit of time. Okay, so RDD is a warning watch for me. RDD is a warning watch. You're going to be looking at the 1 week chart. So turn on your chart to 1 week, go to your settings here and click on 1W and turn it to, instead of 1 day, which is each candle is 1 day, this is each candle is 1 week. It's a little slower, but this is where the information is. This is going to give you the map, okay? Because if the trade is here, then you need to draw the trade there. But at the moment, we are not above this line, so RDD is not bullish. But there's also a major bearishness that can happen simply because we got pushed into this area instead of bouncing. We should have bounced in this area. We did not. We should have bounced here. So if you don't bounce, what does that tell you? It tells you there's a reason we didn't bounce. Either because of the manipulation, pushing cryptos out of bounds, and if we stay this way, when time runs out, 1 day and 10 cents, I'm sorry, 1 day and 10 hours, then that means you can stay down here for a little bit. Already we're still on the underside of these lines. We still need to break out above these lines anyway. We need a movement and behavior like that. Until we get it, I'm not bullish on RDD. Potential money that's on the table, if you got it right now up to these channels, up to 0.026 cents. If it happened today, which I highly doubt, but if just say price skyrockets today, you're going to get up to 0.021. Current price, 0.0014. 0.0014 is current price. Okay? You need that change in behavior. Otherwise, you're going to be going down for a little bit. There are some safety nets here, but even these nets are spiking. Sword cut is weakened because we already had its move and it got exhausted. I don't think this sword cut is going to hold anymore, so I'm going to decrease this back down to orange because we already had a boost when we needed it. So I'm just going to turn it back down to orange. Okay. Look for that same type of duplication on RDD that happened. If Tether crashes, again, the same move that we had happen, look for that same move to happen again at current prices. Just say it's approximately here. That could get us to this support, which is 0.00028. That's pretty good. That might be a good time to buy RDD. But just for long term. That's not saying there's bullishness, but it might be a cheap price if you were long-term RDD. And we already hear good prophetic intel about RDD as well. So that might be a good price to buy RDD. RDD 0.200028. Okay. Qcoin mainly trade USDT. I should transfer all to different DCs. If you're having JSON, when you say okay, got disconnected. What did I miss? I saw Ethereum chart. You are gonna get a Dean. You're gonna get a link to this. Everyone, this is being recorded on YouTube, so I'm gonna put the link in there. So if you just need to rewind, you can. Okay. USDC.D is USDC is better, probably better. Yes. I don't generally like to leave a lot of money sitting in USDT as we're coming to the end of this the exposure. This is something I've talked about since I started back in Telegram. But I wanted to let you guys know that it's gonna come to a head. It's gonna come to a head, and the earliest it could happen is December, and I'm really expecting all this stuff to really come to a head before March. That's also when I expect XRP to activate for its utility and shoot into the thousands. I am expecting that XRP can have some type of settlement sometime before the end of December, which could lead us which could push us out of this current territory. The first steps are 3, then there's some 12. There should be profit taking, a little bit of profit taking at $6. $12 is where you're going to see a lot of profit taking, and then a move down to approximately $3. And then after that, we should be able to go back above $12. And that time there's $150 that's on the table. But while we're on our way up to $150, I believe we're going to be stopping around $90, $99, and then have that huge tether crash. Huge. And that's when I believe that XRP can go back down to 25 cents for just like overnight. And then after that, we'll skyrocket into the thousands. But for right now, that's really what I see. And we covered this about Dive. We covered this a lot because I get asked this a lot. But that's really what we can see on the table. That's absolutely how much money there is. And I should be filming my XRP video today. Projections, and I'm also going to cover what I did today with those projections for the down projections as well. We need to go over. So that was RDD. Now there's only 2 more left: SHIB and ETN, followed by that BTT one. Sorry, that's actually 3. So SHIB. SHIB, I like to look on the daily chart. There's a lot of info on the daily chart. Core is now not respecting this core, but we didn't respect the core on the day that was the big Bitcoin crash. So otherwise we should have had a boost from here, and we really didn't, but we phased through. So that's some bullishness and some bullishness, yet we're coming down here. So let's take a look at volume next. Okay, as we're coming down, volume is drying up. We do have, so this is not as bearish as we think. There is supports here at 0.000027. I don't think SHIB has what it takes right now to beat the line, but this line also gets moved up the cores to this other wave. Now we had this resistance from here, okay? We knew this area on SHIB, okay, because that was your mid phantom. How do we get the mid phantom? Wick, and then we connected it to the very top. That gives us mid phantom with a verification. Price boosted through, sat down on this mid phantom level, came up, hit the roof, came down, we pierced through, and then we swung up. So you know how I tell you guys we want that change in behavior at these key levels? This is what it looked like. It was this. He came through, and then we went up and hit this level, and now we're ready to come down. So I believe we're actually coming down 2.000027 approximately. Now, why would I say that level? Well, normally we wanted the bounce, but we didn't get it. So that means that we should have had the bounce here, and at least came to here, and then to either go up or down. But we didn't get it. So, in alignment with everything you learned today about the flash crash number 2, which is coming up, I believe this month, maybe in the next, from today on to next 2 weeks, it can happen anytime now. You're going to see a repeat. And if you missed the beginning of the video, go ahead and watch it again, or watch that part. We're going to see a repeat of that flash crash. Now, if we see a repeat of the flash crash, we're taking the length from this candle, because that's how much more money is on the table on USDT.D. And then you just take that length, right? And you duplicate it out. Okay, it's about that long. Okay, take that, duplicate it out, and maybe a little bit further we can spike through there. But yeah, this is approximately where you're getting to, 0.000026. SHIB. I wouldn't be surprised if we get one more move down to there. Okay. You can take a quick screenshot of that. I'm going to draw the last top because we need to draw it out. Here it is. I'm actually going to now alter this angle. There. Here. Here. I'm also going to alter the wick. Okay. We need to break above these two levels. From this core to that core and this wick to that wick. We need to break above. The earliest it can happen, if it happened right now, it's 0.000039. And the next one above that, let's shrink that down and make it white. And the next one above that, if it happened today, it's approximately 0.000045. So 39 and 45. We need to break above these levels before Shiba has the good change of behavior. Again, we have supports at sword cuts, so there's plenty of room. And we also are on the positive side of the trend. We're not on the underside of this major trend foundation. So I'm still bullish. I haven't let go. If we ever get below this line, I'm gonna get out of Shiba. But until then, there's potential and massive potential of money on the table as well. 0.0001. That's a lot of money. That's potential on Shiba. But just be ready. Be ready for that. Okay. And with that said, there was ETN was one of the last. Waiting patiently for these prophetic coins. Gracias here. A lot of prophetic insight on Z3 News. Darling, my sister just got home. We're about to eat dinner. She will help me cook food now bring for tomorrow for the Christmas party. I love you. Oh, did not know RDD was a prophetic coin. We'll take a closer look on this one. When will that reach 99? When will XRP reach 99? I believe right now that could be happening anytime after settlement. If it happens, settlement happens sometime in December this month. We would have. I can't say when it's going to happen, but since I believe that the utility aspect for XRP will happen sometime before March, I will say sometime before March. But we need to cross, XRP needs to cross mid-phantom. And I'll just show you guys real quick. XRP USD on a Bitstamp is where I have this data for you. Take a look. This is the major, what's the major story of what's happening with XRP, okay? This is it. Mid-phantom is here. You have, this line is absolutely verified. It's verified here. You have your verification. See, price broke above, came back down, sat down, sat down, sat down. You're ready to pop. Okay, we popped, but this time we broke below and we stopped respecting it. But we did pop before we came through. So it's ready to beat this line again, but it's not saying there won't be some money taken from there because it's been a long time. So this line, $12, you'll see some profit, but it won't hold it for long. Okay. That's why I believe we're going to beat that $12. Once we beat $12, the next roof, the next major roof is $158. So sometime while we're on that journey, I think that's when we're going to go there. And that can happen sometime in 2022. But the sometime before March is when I expect the switch to activate and XRP to launch to the stratosphere. We need to cross above that yellow line. Remember, we need that yellow line beaten before we get bullish again and go on our way to 3 and then 6 and 12. Okay. But ETN, let's look at ETN. ETN, I have a lot of lines on, so bear with me. But ETN, we are not bullish, although we are in a sword cut area and we have bounced approximately where we should. Okay. We are, even though the sword cut is here and we should have some strength, we are also on the underside of this trend. Take a look. Not this one. I'm actually going to delete, hide this line real quick. Take a look at this yellow line. Okay. I'm going to draw it out for you guys. It's here. Wait a minute, that's not correct. I must have drawn this on a daily chart or a monthly chart. One moment. Oh, yes. Okay. So here's it's a foundational line. That's what it is. Come on, I'm trying to type on the line. Okay. We'll do it again because it doesn't look correct. All right. So this section is more important on a daily chart, but on the weekly, you can barely see it. So it's almost incidental. So we almost wouldn't draw it. But even so, it does lend itself to some of the more immediate stuff that's going to happen. And I'll show you why. Again, if I take a look at the daily chart, this becomes more pronounced. Looking at your flows in blue, price went up, came down. Came to the sideways, went up, came down, went up to this point and came down, and then we launched. Then we came and sat on these lines, and we're still approximately there until just recently. So until just recently, these lines connecting these tops here are important. Getting that angle just right. There we go. Let's use a different color to show you, and let's make a thickness. Okay, this would have been more important. And so for price to have been in this area, but now, and you can see it here in this white line is what it really is, but you can see that we actually penetrated through those lines and we came up, but we broke these lines. So this means that there's actually some bearishness still on ETN, and there's part of that story is that there's other resistances that are involved, and there's not so much strength at the moment. Now there's other channels, and they are here. And let me just see if I can draw in a color that we haven't chose. Purple. Okay, here we go. I'm gonna draw these real quick in purple. There we go. Taking this angle, taking the bottom angle, and giving you mid-phantom gives you this line here, which you've seen we draw in white. We've already had this line, and we are still above this mid-phantom, and this could be a support, but right now I don't like it because we haven't changed major behavior. Okay, but ETN does have some support, so I'm not scared. But on the day that Bitcoin crashed, or on the days that Bitcoin crashed, we went approximately that far. And so if we came up, we could go back that far again, and that could give us the exact levels. So I'm expecting ETN short term, and I wouldn't say this is a short or anything like that, but I don't see strength on here. I would expect ETN short term to go to approximately here, 0.0095, a little bit below that line. Okay, so that's my shorter term. I do think we'll eventually get our bounce on ETN, and we're going to be able to go up. But until then, that's where we're at with ETN. Okay, and I think we can get up to sword cut one more time, approximately 0.02 cents. So there's a lot of potential for ETN, but at the moment, I'm not bullish. At the moment, we need to break above these lines, and look where they're at. Connect these wicks. Price broke above that first one just a little bit, but it's approximately something like that. We need change behavior, and we're close, but there's a huge chance that we can dive down first, and then later we can phase through and come through the line, but we haven't yet. So shorter term, we are going down. A longer term, we need to see change of behavior, and this sword cut area is when we should have that change of behavior. Okay, this is the area we should have that change of behavior. Hopefully we'll get it, but we haven't any confirmation. We're not on the positive side of this line. I'm not ready to buy ETN at the moment because of that. Okay, this is on a daily chart. So this is the major story that is happening right now. These are the major lines we can pay attention to. There are supports. That green one should be deleted now. Actually, it held a little bit. I don't know if you can see it here, but there was support here. There's another here, and there's another here. So I'm not scared about a free fall with ETN. I'm not like super bearish, but I'm not ready to be bullish yet. Okay, there's supports here, here, here. Price may hit all three or just the middle one based on projection from the today's earlier video when I showed you how far USDT has yet to go. So the tutorials, if you joined in the meeting late, this is not the tutorial. The tutorial part is at the beginning of the video, and I believe we did it when we were talking about Xrpt. I go really slow motion. Right now it's me, since we're over time. I'm going over some of these a little bit fast because I do like to try to keep these meetings to an hour, hour and a half. We're at 1 hour 45 minutes. I don't mind spending that time with you, but I promised I would give BTT. Okay, so let me answer your questions, and then if you want to stick around for BTT, we will do it. Jason, thank you for taking the time to answer my questions. I'm in Florida. It's been a pleasure to support you in Patreon since the beginning. Yuri, you're fantastic. Thank you for supporting me. ETN should put 0.000 prophetically. Ooh, 0.0004 prophetically? Ooh, let's draw that. Now, where's 0.0004? Approximately down here. I'm going to add that line, and let's add it as a purple for our projection. 0.0004. All right. Sometime we're expecting prices to come down there prophetically. Okay. Let's draw a big dotted line, really, really thick, and let's draw an off color. I'm going to do it like this blue. Nope. Let's do it like that blue. Dotted. Really thick dotted. Bring the opacity really wide. And just so we know that's a prophetic level, we'll just leave it as this like kind of blue color. Make that really big. That's awesome. Okay. We'll add a prophetic color. Thank you. Bye, bye, Francisco. Bye, all. Take care, Francisco. Is there any cryptos you would buy now? Yes, Matic. I echo Mark W's comments. Matic, much appreciated, bro. Pleasure. Matic. Matic's very bullish. We got proper structure. We got this nice rounding with the curve and bounce off the sword cut. Okay. If you haven't got some Matic is good price. I think right now $2.08, but nothing in this video is financial investment or trading advice of any kind. I believe Matic has potential up to $13.07. Current price is $2. I'm now going to look at BTT because I promised I would do a chart for BTT. So let's build it. BTT. I'm going to try and build it quick. Let's look at Bitfinex. BTT USD on Bitfinex, and let's build it. I'm gonna go real quick, okay? Dang it. One moment. I'm just going really fast because I promised I would build this chart. If you guys are just tuning in, the class is just about over for today. I'm no longer giving the tutorial at the moment, but I am sharing, but I am drawing an analysis on BTT. Okay. Oops. Come. Interesting. Okay, here we go. So this crypto has a mixture of responding to wicks and cores. Every now and then, I get it. It's rare. It is rare. There's a shortcut here. This is the cut right here, and we see price reacting to the mid phantom here. So you do have some verification. This was created from the angle of these wicks, connecting to these wicks on the monthly chart, and it gives you mid phantom here approximately. I can't be as precise with the angle. Actually, I can with the outer one. I can. Let's do it again real quick. I tried to be as precise as possible. And it is precise. Okay, good. All right, so this mid phantom gives me the my verification, but it also cuts through here. So a sword cut is created, and price came down and sat to that area, but pressed below and spiked all the way down to the channel that was created using only cores, which I drew in white. Wick, core, core, core. You can't see it anymore, but it's on the monthly chart. So the essence and the strongest of those prices is there. So wick, core here, which should be also core, and that gives you your mid phantom. So there's actually two mid phantoms. One that is this yellow line, and the other is just this dotted line here. Let's make that a little bit thicker so everyone can see that. There you go. And I don't draw them dotted, I draw them dashed. I don't know why it's dotted. There we go. Sword cut would have been created here, but there's also one that's created here. So I'm going to duplicate this out and extend it out. Okay, it's the width, again, the width of where it enters and where it exits. So it's about that wide. This one should be a little bit thinner. Okay, but the area is correct. Now that we have that, I'm looking for a change in behavior in a few spots on wicks. Gives you a clue about what's going to happen next. Here we had a penetration above, but we weren't able to break above. So we start getting into discounted areas. That's bullish. And also, let's make that a little bit thin. And also, add the cores, which I draw as solid. Solid. I'm going to draw these red, make it thick so everyone can see. Okay. And we penetrated above both wicks and cores. So why are we still here? Let's take a look and see if there's buying at these levels. Yes, there absolutely is buying. Look at the volume. As we're coming down, the volume's increasing. And then as we had our highest volume that we had in a long time, this red candle, the next bar was all the way up for this past week. There's 1 day and 9 cents left to go on this weekly chart. 1 day and 9 hours to go on the weekly chart. And we have ultra high volume. How do you have ultra high volume after having the very ultra high volume on the daily chart? On the highest candle, this red bar, right? We had the highest volume, and yet the next bar is up on even higher volume. What does that tell you? That means hidden buying is in this area. What does that mean for BTT? That means BTT looks like it's going to be a real buy. Okay. We do need some other breakout behavior, and it'll be here, and I'll show you where it's at. But BTT is healthy. That's good. That's really good. We are looking for, we have a resistance here, and you can draw it on this white line here. That currently, if the price were to beat that level, it is at 3.00. Ooh, it's cheap too. Good. 0.0037. So you already have buying. Buying is at the sword cut level. Is there potential money on the table? Yes, there is. If we get the breakout above and we're clear, we're going to move from the last leg. This one we're going to measure from the last leg, which is here. There may be a little profit taking about halfway, but this is where this is the move, consolidation. If we have the change in behavior and we launch from sword cut, we can be moving up to, and thank you for looking at this one. Thank you for showing this one or asking this one. Who was it who requested this one? If you guys are still here. Some good money on the table. Conservatively, you got potential money up to .06. I want to say like 6.7. Look, about 70. Almost 6.7. Let's make it to 6.7 to be conservative. But there's a little more money, more than 0.067 cents. That's fantastic, because current price is 0.003. Now, when you see buying, that's really good, and that's a sign that we're going to have a breakout above this level. But it's not guaranteed. We need the breakout above that level for your confirmation, of course. But you already broke down through one of the levels. So if you're reading the consolidation, you already broke through part of it. And now the next part is this white line that I just drew for you, connecting core, break above, and you're golden. Okay, especially if you get that nice pattern formation that will look something like this. Okay, we got a break above and a curve. Let me draw it with the crayon. We need that. Okay, you get that nice rounded arc on top of this line. That's what you need, okay? But already we broke the first ones here. We still respected that. See how we sat down on top? It was saying, yep, the line is here, and we broke above everyone we broke, but we went down. So this was the discounted price. And that's when the buyers knew to buy. And we have confirmation because we looked at the volume, and there was heavy buying in the volume from this past week. So that's really, really good. And it doesn't look like it was affected that much by the Bitcoin crash. So BTT, fantastic. Whoever recommended it, you guys are awesome. Thank you very much for that one. I'm going to be, in fact, I'm probably going to buy a little bit early just because the buying here. So I probably will add this to my collection, buy some BTT with exits at 0.6 cents. It's a lot of money on the table for BTT. And whoever asked, I wonder why you asked for it too. Why is it? Yeah. All right. So with that, that will be the end. It's part of the, somebody says, nice pick. Oh, thank you. Much appreciated. Pleasure. Let me see. Do you ever use fib retracements? Yes, I use fib matching sometimes. Sometimes I use fib matching. And fib matching is where I have a video about it that I created. To my knowledge, I'm the only person who does it. But basically, it's where you take your fibs and you draw your Fibonacci from wick to wick. And then you take another fib and you draw from core to core on the highest time frames you really have. It works better on a monthly. And then you just look to see where they match as best as possible. There's another spot of a fib that's hidden to the human eye, and it's halfway between the fibs. So if you were to draw halfway in the fib, it would be like right there. Okay, and then if you take another one and you do halfway and you just check the halfway parts, where you see these clusters of either the fib lines or halfway, that's where you see price respond the most. For example, and this is a very simple example, you can see that these lines almost match exactly here. We'll go ahead and draw it out, and what do you see? Big price come up and come down. So you can see that, and especially if we're like, you know, just straight up in the air and start coming down, once you come down, draw those fib matches, and it can give you a big clue about what's happening. But yes, sometimes I draw them. Okay, I'll let you have a screenshot so you can kind of save this. It's a good secret for you. To my knowledge, I'm the only person who does this. It's part of the Win or Tricks family. Oh wow, because Win is doing good. And TRX, I'm gonna have to look that up. We'll add it to the dive for Monday. TRX. Dean, what exchange you get BTT? Bitfinex, you can get it on Bitfinex. I know that. He's asking Dean. Perfect. Thank you so much for your time today. You are an 18th YouTuber follower. I am your 18th YouTube follower. Wow. Wow, you've been with me for a while, Mark. Oh, Trix is Tron. Oh. Okay. All right. And since we are today, that's for time, let me say a prayer for everybody. And if you wanted to stick around to ask any other questions, we can. Lord Jesus, I thank you so much for these happy people. I thank you for their friendship. I thank you for their support. I pray that you take care of their families, their lives, their children, their wives, their husbands. Take care of their loved ones, their families, their mothers and their fathers, their sisters and their brothers. You know the things they're going through. Position them for great wealth. Let it be soon. And teach them also to read price action. Give them minds to comprehend and understand even the most complex things, like you did with Solomon. You gave him the ability to have wisdom. You gave Joseph the ability to understand things, and you even trained him in darkness. During these dark times, Lord, you're teaching your people how to take back the wealth and to take back what the governments try to steal, what politicians try to take away through various programs and schemes and things that are hidden and things that are done underground and things that are done in secret to rob the people of their wealth. Even the corrupt politicians who are ushering in hyperinflation. I pray that you would just put an end to it and bring us back to gold standard. Let it happen soon. Let the corruption end. But even in the midst of the darkness, as Joseph was falsely accused, thrown in prison, he was thrown down a well, you still trained him up and taught him in the secret place. You taught David in the secret place when his brothers were making fun of him. He was out in the fields and he was learning war. You were teaching him to battle and conquer the lion and conquer the bear. And you teach us to conquer the bulls and you teach us to conquer the bears. You train us in the hidden parts when no one's watching to rise us up to big places. Rise them up, Lord. And that's my prayer. Bless them. Keep them. Make your face to shine upon them. Look upon them with favor. Give them peace. And lift up your countenance towards them. In Jesus' name I pray. Amen. And that's my prayer for you. I don't know if you're a believer or not, but I still want to pray for you and put blessings upon you. And I pray that you always put your faith and trust in Jesus Christ. Turn to him. He can change your life. He's the only one who can really give you peace. I'm definitely not perfect, not by a long stretch, but he is. And he offers that forgiveness of sin. So I give you guys that, and I'll give you that, okay? Lord bless you, Jay Song, abundantly. Thank you, Chunk. Thank you, Jeff. Amen and amen. I'm going to play the outro music. I'll cue the end of the video if you want to stick around for a few questions or unmute yourself. Go ahead. Let's end the video on YouTube. And if you guys are watching this rerun on video on YouTube, I'll see you guys in the next dive. We'll have another free dive. If you guys like the dive, you guys can have this paid content. And I teach dive classes in the mornings at 9 a.m. and at 9 p.m. in Brazil, which is New York time, 7 p.m. and 7 a.m. weekly. I'll see you guys. Cue the outro music.